Hey everyone, this is Adam Cooper from the Goalie Czar channel, and this is my first book review on Kelly Hrudey's Calling the Shots with Kristie McLellan Day. I read this book a couple months back, and I wanted to share the positive feedback overall on this solid book. And it wasn't what I expected. So for goalies out there or players that are interested in the 80s and the 90s hockey, particularly the New York Islanders and the LA Kings when Gretzky was there, and the San Jose Sharks, there's some really good history from Kelly Hrudey on that. So before I get started, many of you have probably seen some of my other videos and game videos, so I encourage you to check out my other videos, and if you like them, please hit the like button, and don't hesitate to subscribe to this channel to see future videos, reviews, book reviews like this, and others. So let's be honest, or I'll be honest, the only reason I picked up this book was because it was about hockey goalie, to be honest. And I'd watched Kelly Hrudey as a kid. To be honest, not a big fan of him as a goalie growing up. He had that bucket Jofa helmet and cage, and I just didn't like the look of what he was wearing. He had this underwear bandana that he wore, and I thought he was trying to be cool, and it just didn't work for me. But as he's retired and become an analyst on Hockey Night in Canada, I really respected him with his opinions on goalies and feedback that he shared to viewers. So I thought I'd pick it up. And I guess the first thing, what I'll talk about is some of the first things that stood out for me is that, as I said earlier, some really good history on his time with the New York Islanders, his struggles in junior and his successes there. And when he was coming into the Islanders, I thought what was fascinating is that the Islanders had this dynasty of end of their cup run. So Al Arbor, the coach, Nystrom, Bossy, Trache, Clark Gillis, Billy Smith, all those big guys from those big cups that the Islanders had. Hrudey was coming in at the tail end of that. So it was really interesting dynamic to get his perspective on him coming in, how Billy Smith felt about that and challenging him, and the relationships that he really built with a lot of those players and the new players that came in, like Sutter, Pat LaFontaine, and those guys. So if you're an Islanders fan, I thought this book was really great to learn more about that. And then he got traded to LA, and I thought that was really fascinating to hear about him and all these other LA players with Gretzky there and all the celebrities. So I think many of you will find that fascinating. Me as a Leaf fan, I was obviously not a huge fan of him because of him being in that, 93, that now it's coming to me, the 1993 Stanley Cup Conference Finals with Gretzky and the Leafs at the Maple Leaf Gardens, and how he crushed millions of Leaf fans by winning that and going into the Stanley Cup Final versus Montreal. So it's interesting the emotional scars that he left on many Leaf fans, and still a lot of Leaf fans call him on that series, which is fascinating. So jumping back to some other things, I think what I found interesting as a goalie was just the mental approach that he had to take with trying to win. New goalies coming in, backups trying to challenge him, and mentally how he had to prepare himself for games. When he had a bad game, how did he rebound from that? So I think for any goalie that's had their ups and downs in rec league and competitive, I think it's a fascinating book to kind of get his perspective on things. And just also, he was really open about his relationships, not only with players, but family, girlfriends, wives, all that kind of stuff. And I thought that was really great. So overall, solid book for historians of the NHL that are fascinated by the New York Islanders, LA Kings, a little bit of San Jose. That part wasn't big, part of his career, but primarily New York Islanders and LA Kings. And Leaf fans, I think, would be interested to sort of see his perspective as an enemy. And then also, it was just really neat to learn the coaching style of Al Arbour and how he coached his players, and how his players really respected him as a leader. That was really great. And then I think for goalies, as I mentioned before, really good stuff here to take away. And overall, really great read. Like, this is a quick read. I really like the style that Kelly and Kristie used to write with this book, and I found it a really interesting and worthwhile read that captured my attention. So hopefully that helps, and maybe you'll consider taking a look at this book. Once again, it's Kelly Hrudey's Calling the Shots, and I think it's found on Amazon, Indigo. I think I picked this one up at Costco, I believe. So check it out, and I hope you found this review helpful. Once again, if you're interested in continuing to see videos from this channel, the Goalie Czar channel, please subscribe to it and offer any of your comments and feedback on this video. Thanks, and talk to you soon.